This is Renewing the Man. Clarity under pressure. The weekly call to bring clarity to your situation.
So what's going on, people?
I don't know. What's for what are you eating there, Wally?
Pesto pasta.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay. Homemade pasta sauce?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
But I know how to make it. With
Yeah.
pine nuts and basil and olive oil. I like it fresh, like with basil, like fresh basil is much nicer. When
Yeah.
you make it homemade.
Yeah.
But yeah, so much going on. I love it.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Yeah, I possibly Andy Richards has brought a 17-year-old to for coaching. It's the son of his boss, so I talked to the father and see where that goes. So yeah, everything is starting to move and ebbs and flows.
Yep.
Ebbs and flows.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
My lube tech, like 18-year-old kid, he got a text message from a guy who's been cheating on, who's been sleeping with his girlfriend, essentially. That's what was happening. And so he was losing his mind on Thursday. And told him, just go home, get this all out, come to work tomorrow. You don't need to take a day off. Just focus on work when you get here. Don't take your mind off stuff. And
yeah.
Brutal. I'm like, yeah, I've been there, man. I wouldn't wish anybody sucks.
And I think that's what Wally and I have had conversations about with the relationships, right? Like sometimes you're good for it, or sometimes you're not in the right frame of mind, and sometimes you just need like clarity, understanding of what you think you need to bring to a relationship, what you need to do for yourself. Like, yeah, like shit. Like I don't really realize how sometimes I like shit. I think you think you're ready for it. You're like, fuck, I'm nowhere near it ready for a relationship now, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, and then the first relationship is a relationship with yourself. That's the most important. You know? And that's why we do this work.
Yeah.
Huh? Go ahead.
Well, no, like you said, Wally, it's like if you can't love yourself, how do you expect
Do
to love
this
someone
work to
else?
learn. Yeah, until you love yourself.
And you can only love somebody else as much as you love yourself. And so if you don't love yourself, then you're not going to be able to love anybody else. So,
well, that's a hard reality that I've kind of came to realize is like, I think Wally and I have talked about this before, right? Like, I thought I was in a position that I was ready for dating, right? But like, I mean, I looked at it for a while back. I'm like, shit, I haven't really like got over my ex. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and sometimes you still think that you're in the right frame of mind, and Wally's like, dude, like you need to date yourself for at least a year to figure out who you are, right? And it's just like sometimes you just don't even realize as a man, you think that you got all your shit going. It's just like, dude, you still are fucking broken, you know?
Yeah, totally. And having that clarity and that realization of the work that still needs to be done is amazing. Right? Because then you can focus on it and dig in. And yes, it takes time. And yes, it can be a lengthy process. The more work you do, the more healing you go through, the better everybody is for it, right?
Yeah.
Every relationship that you're, people that you're interacting with, get to see the new you, the new healed you, and get to experience
and it's not just in partnership, right? It's relationship with your workers, with your co-partner, business, with everything you do, with people on the street, coffee shop, whatever. It's how you show up, how you continue to show up, in your peace, in your heart, in your self love, and how that becomes contagious. Like when somebody
Yeah.
meets you and they have like imagine you meet somebody, you know, at a coffee shop and they're just in a bad place and you're this healed version of yourself and you can talk to them and you can give them hope. You can give them some, faith in the future, some new belief about, hey, I understand, buddy, that you're going through something really hard right now. I've been there, I've done it, and I've done this, and this, and this is where I'm at now because of those hardships that I've lived. So
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
day when you're fully healed, you're going to be able to give somebody that peace.
Yeah, yeah, and you hit it. You kind of hit the nail in the coffin. Like I think that, um, like I think the interactions that you have with others definitely
Hmm.
reflects on like your life experience and what you've basically dealt with, right, and how you have dealt with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think conversations that you and I have had, Wally, like it's just like just the little things that you kind of you mentioned, right? Like
Hmm.
how much reflection it kind of helps in your life, but you don't think about it at first, like how you can really admit certain things that you're going through and how you think that,
Yeah.
hey, this is not going to change. But I'm like, fuck, it's like, excuse my language, but it's like how sometimes you almost weep, right? Because it's just like, it was the other day, like, I don't think emotionally and physically for the last, oh geez, like years, dude, like I haven't cried. Like I'm joking, like years I haven't cried, right? And like emotionally, when you start seeing like your walls trying to break down and try to break down your walls, but then you have this like this almost pride issue or almost like this, I don't know what
Ego is
that.
fighting. It's the
Oh,
ego. It's ego. The
the,
ego is
the ego.
deflecting and defending.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah, it's
want
like
you. It doesn't want the ego. Doesn't want you
it's
to heal.
this. It's
Yeah.
this, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
The
you're
ego
here
does
and it's like
not
this.
want you to
It's like,
heal. The
what's
ego
that?
does not want you to. The ego does not want you to heal because it wants to stay in control.
No, no,
It wants to
no.
control you.
And it's like, I think you and I think I had this conversation with you a little bit a couple days ago, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, um, I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I had like this, because I think I've spoke to Wally about this. I don't know if I spoke to you, Nick, about this, but it's like, sometimes those mornings you wake up early and like, the Lord wakes you up for some reason, like, and you don't know what the whole purpose is, and then the devil's trying to fight you for this point, right? And it's like the devil's saying, "Oh, this is all fine, this is all dandy, just kind of like just keep it up," and then it's like emotionally you're like, and I excuse my language, but I do swear quite a bit, so this is how I
It's
get
okay.
stuff off. But I'm like, fuck this shit. I cannot live like this. I cannot keep on doing this. It's like, fuck God. And I was like, fuck God, if you're going to be real, you're going to be here. If you're going to be present, you're going to be present. But fuck you, devil. You got to get out of my head. Right. And it's just like this whole thing back and forth. Right. Where it's like, you think that you're good enough, but you're not. Right. And then emotionally, when you talk to certain people, um, you start to realize there's certain things that they're living their lives in, and and they're like in complete denial, and then they suppress their feelings and suppress their ways. I'm like, I can't do that. Like I can't suppress my feelings any longer because it's just eating at me all the time, right?
Mm.
And I think there was a guy saying, "You tell me your friends, I tell you what your future is like." I can't remember who that guy was, right?
All right. Tell me who your friends. If you show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Who you're going to become.
Yeah, but it was this I can't remember who this guy's name was, but he's this old guy. He's this old motivational guy, right? But
Was it Jim Rohn? Jim Rohn. He's the guy that taught Tony Robbins.
um let me see what his name was. Um Uh, yeah, it wasn't Jim Rome.
Dan Panea.
Yeah, he's like an old dude.
Yeah, this is Dan.
What's that?
Dan Panea.
Yeah, Dan
Think-
Pena. Yeah.
yeah, right. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Dan Pena.
Yeah, like and yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Like him. And it kind of got me thinking, like, you know how we are as men, right? Like we try to suppress things and then when we have other friends that they kind of give their stuff to us and then we try to, help them out and try to understand the conversation. This is like sometimes if we're not in the right frame of mind state, like we it's not good for our life. It just to basically suppress it, right? And I think that it's good that us men can come together as people and just have those one-on-one conversations. But like those things that we just keep on suppressing, it's so hard for men to just let it go, right? Like we fight so much ego and so much pride, you know.
Totally.
Just
It's
counting
like,
the you knows.
What's that?
Just counting the you knows. Because I say you know all the time, and Nick says right all the time.
Oh.
But yeah, to speak to that is, it's like the movie, the title Pride and Prejudice, right?
Yes. Yeah.
If you think about the movie Pride, just the title itself, Pride and Prejudice, right? So we have this pride, and then because of the pride, we have prejudice.
Yeah.
Imagine if we took care of that prejudice, would the pride still be there? Would it still have power over it? That's the pride is just the ego, another form, a name for the ego, right? It's that pride,
Mhm.
this false belief of confidence of I am better than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm more accomplished than you, I'm gonna destroy you, so I'm gonna say in my pride, I'm a tough guy. I'm proud to
Mhm.
be a tough guy. And you're acting like an asshole, thinking you're so proud, but you're an asshole treating everybody like shit, stomping on over everybody, being a dictator. You're very proud of that, right? Because why? The ego is telling you, I must
Oh,
be in
100%.
control. I must be in control.
And that's it. That's the whole thing that I've kind of come to realize is like just because someone is trying to help me and my ego is basically trying to counteract and saying, "Oh,
Mhm.
mechanism, put your defense mechanism
Oh,
up." Like, you know,
I know that
like,
one. I know that very well.
and that's such a weird reality to think about, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like I had this
No. Yeah.
what's that, sorry, what?
No, it's amazing because I remember how hard I was pushing against your ego, and you would let go. You would have that glimpse, but then you would have like this 1% of I want this. Then the ego would go and come back into protectiveness, and you would shut down and avoid and move away,
Oh, 100%.
a hundred
100%.
miles away. And then I'd try to I throw these little fish hooks out with a little worm on it to kind of
Yeah.
bait you back in
reel you back in.
and reel you back in to get you back to where you told me you wanted to be. But the ego was so fierce in you. It was so proud and full of pride. And then what happened? The prejudice, right? The prejudice came in. Who the fuck is this motherfucker? Challenging me, and I have to be right. I'm gonna be. He's wrong. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden that protection mechanism, that pride became the prejudice. You know,
Huh?
you go into battle mode to fight for something you need to change.
Well, and it's that, but I think that also too is like you live so much of your life in denial, and then you
Hmm.
think you want to come back into reality is like a night and day different story, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
it's like
I've
blue
lived my
pill,
life
red
so
pill,
what's that, sorry?
blue pill, red pill.
Exactly, right?
No. Hmm.
And then you see like other people how they've like had their relationships with like their partners. and how they kind of like almost mistreat them, but then they still kept them in that kind of loophole. And I'm like, so I'm like, if I'm an asshole now, how am I going to be if I'm still an asshole to a partner? Like, do you know how long are they going to stay in that position, or stay in that place before they decide enough's enough?
Yeah.
They walk away,
Well,
right?
like, so if we go to your situation with your ex-wife, if I can speak to that, can I speak to
Yeah,
that?
please do.
So we go to the situation with your ex-wife, right? And she basically had enough of you, threw you out in the middle of the winter. Oh, he's too much of an ass, so I can't deal with him, right? All right. And how long were you married for?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And did any relationship after that with anybody?
I didn't date for a while. I dated for a short period of time after that, but that was
Yeah.
probably like 2 years later, yeah, probably 2.5 years later.
Okay. And then when that happened, it lasted a very short term.
It was yeah, like I think the situation for where yeah, I think this is kind of like a repetition that I've kind of seen from past relationships. I was basically like the girls who I dated, they had drama from past relationships, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of attracted that stuff, same situation.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was a guy that was trying to fix the thing, and then we're
Yeah.
thinking that they would bring their stuff in, and I would try to help them fix it. But the problem that I looked at it was like later on when I was actually in that situation, I had no idea what I wanted, and I didn't even know who I was, right?
Right.
And if
Right.
this sounds kind of weird to say that, right?
And no, it's good. You're right. You're on point. And I'll also add, you are also still grieving, not even grieving, fully grieved from your past marriage,
Oh,
and that
100%.
made you even more harder on yourself,
Oh,
and
yeah,
even more
100%.
harder in the new relationship.
But I think also too is like
Uh,
in all hindsight, I think I have a defense mechanism still kind of a guard at first, right? Because um, like I always was kind of looking at any kind of relationship I was going into and thinking like, okay, what situation did they have? What situation that they're bringing? What situation am I
yeah, but
trying
why?
to solve?
But what? And ask yourself, why did you do that? Right?
Because I wasn't happy with myself and I wasn't figuring out
Yeah.
who I was as a man,
Bingo.
right?
Yeah.
So that's like,
Beautiful.
it's like the
Well said.
alter ego, right? Like you have an ego
Mm.
that sometimes you basically are trying to figure out how to basically change your ego. But you're
Yeah.
so set in your ways and so on this one path that you can't
Yeah.
look at the other direction.
Yeah. And that makes me happy that you're here now, man.
Dude, you know what? Like,
I was worried for you, bro. I
dude,
was,
like I don't
honestly.
even realize, like, and especially in the Nick, like I don't think that, especially doing these calls, and especially like I'm looking forward to this coaching. But Wally, you don't even realize is like how much shit I've got off my chest and off my
Yeah.
heart for the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Awesome.
I go for walks sometimes, and I'm like, I say to myself, like I'm out for a walk, and people kind of like they kind of they walk by, and it's funny because a lot of these people who live by me, they're all like East Indians. They don't talk. They don't speak any English, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm so into fucking denial, and like they're like looking at me, and they got I got my I got my my things in there, and they're like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. And they're thinking about, I'm like, I'm doing this, I'm talking on the phone, and this one lady came up to one day, she's like, who are you talking to? She's like, oh, that was just my best friend. I'm just talking to you like this. And it's still like, I got this like recording of
Yeah.
you and I, Wally, like kind of
Yeah.
what you said. And then I like
Oh, I
recording
remember.
back
I
and
heard
forth.
that in the background. Yeah, I remember.
And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Right. So then I actually, at that moment, my buddy, Jarrett jumped on the call, right? Him and I were talking for a few minutes, and I'm like just cursing myself out. And then he gets on the call, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just talking to myself." Right? But it's that whole thing, dude. Like it's just
Yeah.
this whole mental state, this whole reality that we are in as men, and we just we're supposed to try to suppress things, and then thinking that as men we're supposed to fix the next relationship that we're in, and thinking that if a woman comes into our life who, hey, she has either kids or a previous relationship or whatever, we think as men that we're going to fix the relationship, and we're not going to fix her past relationship, right? The
No,
past
because
is the
that rat's in
past.
the past, and it has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
And that's
But the
why
rat
the work on you is fixing you before you go into any new relationship, so you have the tools and understanding and the capacity to maintain that relationship.
exactly.
Mm.
But the sad reality, dude, is like, and I don't know if Nick can kind of relate to this, but like, you know, um, we get so caught up in our own shit sometimes that we can't see this step forward because we're still holding on to something that we've had, right? And it's um like, I mean, I had a really, like, previous to my last, like, my marriage, I had this amazing woman I was dating for a while. Like, she was amazing. Like, we had such a great relationship. We never fought, we never argued, but it was the it was that denial sometimes, like, you think that she's better than, she has everything going for her, and then
Yeah.
you see this one little thing that she does wrong, and then you just
Hyper focus on it.
Oh, 100%, right? And then it just elevates the things to, like, the 10th degree, where you think this is something that shouldn't be, this shouldn't be acceptable, right? And it's just,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, I
That's where
mean, and
the resentment came in, right?
oh, 100%, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting hot just thinking about it right now.
Yeah. Good. All right. Do we need to get off video?
You start ripping stuff off, right? It's
Awesome.
like,
Good stuff, man. Really.
let's just strip naked. Yes, no, that's just not gonna happen.
Oh man, too funny.
But no, it,
So what
it's
kind? When you say you get hot just thinking about it, when you say you got hot just thinking about it, what is the thought that's there? What is it? What's the feeling that's there
I
when
think
you get hot just now?
yeah, no, I don't know if Nick can relate to this, but, like, I think that as men, like, when we see, like, little things that like a relationship will have, right? Like, little things that we find that is, like, maybe it's like we didn't think it at first is a big deal, but then it kind of becomes a big deal, right?
Growth.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, where it's like, you know, let's say, for example, the woman that you're dating has a kid, for example, and she has it from a previous relationship. Let's just hypothetically say this, but the um, there's still drama from, like, the past, like, from,
Oh yeah, I'm dealing
yeah,
with a woman right
whatever,
now
like,
who is
husband.
with her ex-husband. Ex-husband
Yeah,
is and her new girlfriend are making her the enemy and creating so much drama for her because he wants to manipulate her just to punish her,
yeah.
right? Because he's still wounded, he's still hurt, he's still the wounded, hurt little boy. So he's punishing his ex-wife for being in a new relationship with a new man, even though he was the one that cheated on his wife with this new
Oh,
woman.
he's the one. Oh, okay.
Uh huh. Uh huh. And this woman is still married.
Hmm.
Wow.
So, and then this one who's still married is marking her territory by being on a call with him talking to his daughter, kissing him on the neck, which is inappropriate because the daughter is like 8 years
Ooh,
old.
yeah.
So what
That's
is
not.
that
That's
woman
not
doing?
cool.
She's threatened by the little girl. She's threatened, and now she's competing against the ex-wife and his little girls with his ex-wife. And because she's a nurse, she's interfering and saying, "Oh, this is wrong with your child. This is wrong with your child." When there's nothing wrong with the child, that she's just using her her uh, background as a nurse and to make Erica feel like she's the wrong one, like she's the bad one, like she's the one doing something wrong, but she's not. It's just a woman, being competitive and
Mm-hmm.
competing for a man, and Erica is like, why is this woman competing with me? She took away my problem. If anything, there's no reason for her to behave like this, right? And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, there's a couple things that are happening here because they're both cheaters. She knows that he cheated with her on her, right? And so she doesn't trust herself. This other woman who's still married doesn't trust herself, doesn't trust this guy that she's cheating on with her husband. So she's breaking up her family for a cheater, for a guy who cheats. What is she doing?
Oh,
She's controlling and manipulating the situation because she's trying to mark her territory. And
yeah.
this is a mammalian part of that woman's mind, the animal instinct of the human body, in a sense, where she's going in to mark her territory, right? And then it's also complicated with the subconscious, the ego, the overprotective inner child, and then the guardian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when you're talking about this old relationship and there's still drama there, it's because that woman, when she left that partner, right, he was acting in a way that was out of integrity, an out of integrity relationship that she wanted to be in, that was hurting her, and her only way was to leave it. So, and if that person is still wanting to be the father and he hasn't dealt with his emotions, his pain, his hurt, his wounds, he's going to cause drama for her and him.
But do you think, okay, and you, as you say that, Wally, do you think, and maybe Nick can kind of relate to this, do you think that as men, do you think we ever will be able to fully let go of past in any kind into going into a new relationship? Is that
That's
something? What's that?
so that's the first thing that I had to do when I was doing my emotional work was grieve that old relationship fully, so that I
Yeah.
could move on and start to heal myself. And it took 8 weeks of intentional
Oh,
work every day.
you had a hernia, didn't you?
Yeah, I gave myself a hernia doing the emotional work.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. So I don't know if this kind of counter and kind of maybe you guys can maybe understand this is that so like I've done this in the past, and this is kind of something that's been something that I've dealt with for a while. Was and Wally, I think Wally understands this is that when you've basically went through some issues in the past, trials, situations, drama or like traumatic experience, for example, how do you ever suppress that to the point
You
where
don't
you don't?
suppress it.
Don't suppress
You
it.
don't
Yeah.
you don't suppress it. You
You let
deal
it
with
out.
it. You let it out.
Yeah.
We
So
do emotional. Yeah.
it's
Go ahead,
the
Nick.
opposite of suppressing. So there's some suppressed hurt that you are feeling that
Mhm.
you've built up these walls that you have put up to protect yourself. And so when you deal with that suppressed hurt, once that situation that normally would trigger you comes up again, there's nothing for it to trigger and there's no walls that go up because that
Mhm.
has been resolved. And so once you've done all that work and have grieved that old relationship and have let go of that toxic version of what that looks like, you can then move on to something new. But if you're still pining for that old relationship, then you know there's still work to do. Yes, you can still have a connection with the person, but you want to start to heal yourself and
Mhm.
find out what's inside of you that is drawing you back to that toxicity because that's not healthy, right? But there's
No,
something there that you still need to look at if that's what's going on.
no, that's good to know, right? Like I think the mental clarity for that is one thing, but like I think that, and then maybe you guys can kind of give me some heads up on this. Is um like I can have a really good day where it's like I thinking about this, I don't think about any of this stuff, right? And then it's just like then this kind of you get a message from someone, for example, and they're like, hey, I had a rough day with, so and so and so and so, right? And I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear about it. Like, I don't really care about it, right? And that's kind of where I don't want to be an asshole towards them, but it's like then they dump their stuff on you, and then you're like, oh, geez, like how do you handle this, right? Like, I think Wally and I have talked about this before, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like my mom will call me, and my mom will basically say something about my dad, and and it's just like I don't really want to know. I really don't want to deal with it, like, or I don't want to deal with what
Yeah.
my brother's dealing with, but I just don't care.
Yeah. You got to set your boundaries, right?
But it's just the point where it just it gets to you, and it gets right here, and you're like, how do I even like?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
that's
that's
doing
what.
your entire life, right? Like your mom's been dumping all her stuff on you
Mhm.
for your entire life, and so you
Yeah,
become that emotional support crutch for her,
Or
and
punching
yeah.
bag.
you're her punching bag, right? And she's letting out all her stuff on you, and you haven't had the tools to deal with that, right?
Well, yeah, and exactly, and it's frustrating for me because it's like, I don't live on the island, but it's like the fact of the matter is when I try to have any kind of decent conversation with him, like, hey, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to like if they'll dump the stuff on me, like I don't have time. I really don't have time
Yeah.
for this. I'm busy with other stuff. And then I get this emotional upset where she almost cries on the phone because she's like, I'm not listening to her.
Well,
I'm like,
emotional
I'm not.
manipulation because what she's done for you her whole life, and this is what I see now. When I look at everything that's going on with you, in a sense, she's been doing this your whole life. She's been using you and replace. And why the relationship with you and your dad is so hard, and your mom's not there and
Oh, there's no
supporting it
relationship
is.
between my dad. There's no
You're
relationship
right.
between my.
Yeah, there's no relation, right? Because what your mother has essentially done is she's replaced you with him.
Mm, okay.
She's replaced you emotionally with him. She's made you the emotional affair partner since you were a little boy.
Mm. See, and that's the weirdest thing because it's like I shouldn't be in that position. I shouldn't be that
No,
one person.
but she put
Like
you
I
in
don't even
that.
know
But
how to.
yeah,
But dude, like the guys are like, I don't even know how to say it. Like I don't know what to say to them. Like when my mom brings it up,
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't have any time. I don't have anything to say to you guys. Like I don't really know, right? I can't help you in this situation.
So, you know, then you have to just exit the call.
Yeah, because
That's
sometimes it's
it.
just like emotionally I get so, and I don't know if you, I don't know, do you guys ever have this point where it's like I don't know whoever you're talking to, and I think Wally, you've maybe done this before, like
Yeah,
you've maybe done this with me. It's like
yeah.
it's like when you get so upset with someone, you get so irritated with someone, they
Mm-hmm.
they hang the phone up on you. You know
Yeah,
how much irritation and how much shit that bothers you, and that just
yeah, huh?
it just evens up, right? And then so there'd be a couple times where my mom will do that, and she'll just hang the phone up on me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't care if she hangs up the phone on me, right? And then emotionally,
Uh,
she comes back and calls me back a couple minutes later, and she's like, oh, blah 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 blah. I'm like, and what am I
yeah.
supposed to answer? What am I supposed to say to you, right? That's just like my brother will call me for no particular other reason. Like like my brother and I have a good relationship. Like he has a lot of shit that he's deal with. He does a lot of shit, like he emotionally, physically, like he has uh like bipolar, um what's it
Bipolar disorder.
yeah, so he has like bipolar, and he has like um diabetes level 2. He has also
Oh,
like a couple other things. Like he has a lot of stuff on his plate, right? He emotionally can't hold a job down, right? Like he just he can't, and unfortunately he lives with my parents, right? Like he's just that, he has some disabilities, right? But like whenever we have a chat, it's very seldom. It's very quick. Hey, like how's it going? Blah blah blah. Quick chat, and then boom, and then we're done. Have a conversation. Same thing with my dad. Hey, how are you doing? Good. What's up? What are you up to? And like we'll sit down and have a conversation. And Wally, I think I told you about this before.
yeah.
Do you know how much? And I don't know if Nick can relate this, but do you know how much fear and how much anxiety you have when you try to help someone else out, and no matter every
Well,
single time you try to have a conversation with them, they break down and they don't even give you anything, right?
Yeah.
Like
What are you expecting? What's your expectation, right?
100%, exactly.
Yeah, bingo, right?
And it's
What
like
are you expecting from them? You're having anxiety because you know, and you're trapped in this vicious cycle of toxicity and the emotional trap, feeling that you're responsible for their happiness when you're not. And that's your trap. That's the trap.
exactly.
That's the bear fucking claw trap you've been in since you were a little boy that your parents and especially your mother has put you in.
But
You're
dude,
responsible for your mother's happiness. You're responsible for your brother's happiness, and
uh-huh,
you're not
uh-huh.
responsible
Emotions
for your
happen
own
with all of our
happiness.
emotions, right?
But do you realize, dude, like in the heart, the reality is in this, and this is sad for me to say this. I I have agony going home and spending time with them. Like I do not look forward to going back to the island. I do not look forward to spending time with the
Yeah,
family.
because it's
The
a lot of
quicker
pain there.
the quicker I'm there, the quicker I'm out. Like the
Yeah,
faster I'm there, the faster I'm out. Like
yeah,
I
there's still a
cannot
lot of
stay at
pain
home.
there.
Oh, 100%, dude. And the fact of the matter is like even though my sister has 2 kids and stuff, I would love kids. I would love to have kids.
Yeah,
But the fact of the matter is like every single relationship I try to have a relationship with is like my parents don't know the whole thing about Christian relationships. They don't really understand it. They they think that, if I'm celibate that there's an issue going on my end, right? Like it's
hmm
kind of a weird thing, right? Like, like I'm not going to sleep with any woman. I'm not going to get into a position like that. It's just weird and it's wrong, right? Because the moment you get a connection with someone and you're intimate, there's that connection there, right? And if you just think that emotionally you get into that point where like you have that intimacy, there's that connection there, and that woman has that connection for you. But if you don't have that connection for you, it's like, what are you doing as a man? Like you're just
yeah,
basically trying to get someone's hope up. No, I'm not into that, right?
Right.
So it's hard, right? Because it's like whenever I'm home, I just want to be gone as quick as I possibly can.
Right. Yeah, because there's a lot of hurt there, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
especially if your mom has been using you for her emotional dumping ground your entire life, why would you want to be around that, right?
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
there's a lot of pain that comes into play when you're just even around, right? Um, and then you're always walking on eggshells. Like, okay, is she gonna explode? Is she gonna start dumping on me now? Like, there's a lot of fear and anxiety that happens
Oh,
with that.
my defense mechanism is totally up there too.
Yeah.
Totally, you're always on the
Yeah.
defensive. Your walls up.
Yeah, and the nervous system is overrun,
Totally.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, so it makes perfect sense, right? I was in the same boat for years with my mom as the
Me
eldest
too.
child.
So the
Yeah,
same here. You know.
yeah. So I know exactly what you're going through, but
It's-
I worked through a lot of the stuff with my mom. Um, I have a family call with my family every Sunday night, and we all get together and just talk and get stuff out and
do
tell
you-
each other
but
the week and stuff. It's been great. It's really
and that's the one thing I would love that, Nick. Like, I mean, like if I can emotionally have that conversation where I can sit down and have a chat with my mom and my dad together, that would be a great thing. But my dad won't. My dad will not get on a phone call with like the moment we try to have a conversation, he's off the phone as quick as he possibly can.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't. I don't. I don't
Uh,
know what to say. I don't know what to really go
It's
off of,
frozen.
right?
You're
Because
frozen.
it,
I don't. I honestly couldn't say.
it sounds to me like your mother emotionally manipulated your father, you, your brother. I've seen this with my own mother. She did that with my sisters and me against my father. Turned, tried to turn us all against our father to manipulate him to for her and for her betterment, for her uh, manipulation and usage. So I said that with my mother, and my dad's dead for 26 years, and my mother goes into your father was this, your father. It's like, mom, fuck you, first of all, and I tell her, "Fuck you." You know where I stand like that. Don't go into that. My father was this. Oh, this happened. No, you weren't there. You didn't say it's like I know my dad well enough to know that when you had him arrested for you know a fight that Sonia started, because Sonia always starts the fight. She got physical with him. He put his hands up and put her in a headlock to stop her and calm her down from scratching at him and slapping at him. You called the
Wow.
police because you were afraid that he was going to hurt her. He would never have hurt her. All he was trying to do is to put her in submission to stop her from hitting him. You know, and to this day, she still tries to manipulate me against my father. I'm like, Mom, stop. If you don't stop, I'm going to hang up this phone.
Yeah.
And I do the hard stuff when I say, Mom, fuck you. No, you're not going there with me. And I speak to her like that to this day. It's like, don't you
See,
fucking dare talk about my father like that. You know better than that. You know?
you know, and that's the thing. I think that, Wally, as you said something that definitely resonates a lot more with me. Where it's like, I think that I need to be more of like forward with my relationship with my parents. Just say like when
Well,
they
you have to
bring
do the
stuff up.
work. Yeah, we have to do the work around. Like I did the work around my mother and what my mother meant to me, what my mother did to me. My mother, when I was 5, physically abused me. Right? And like I brought it to her attention. I told her I remember this, and she's like, "No, you're lying. You're just in denial." It's like, well, you're denying a memory I have, or invalidating my memory of what my experience was. So your mother sounds like what she's done is she's pitted your father against you, and you against your father, and wasn't there to help mend or help the connection. What she did was she was there to make sure that the connection never connected.
Well, and I've never lived home. I never lived close to the home, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like I'm a little bit more of the outsider looking in, right?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, because you're escaping.
well, yeah, like I didn't want to have to deal with the drama, to be honest
Yeah,
with you. I just
you're
didn't.
escaping. Yeah, you escape the chaos.
Yeah. Uh,
And it's
you're
like, go ahead, Nick.
so when you've been victimized like you have been your entire life by your mom emotionally, you're going to avoid that, and you're going to.
Oh,
You're,
100%.
yeah, yeah.
Like, do you like, okay, so like, um, maybe this is kind of like, so with my parents, right? Like when I've sold trucks, bought trucks and stuff like that, right? And then they were like, oh, you shouldn't buy this, you shouldn't buy this, and you shouldn't buy that. And it's like the one thing which I've kind of started realizing more and more over the times is that like my parents are trying to almost hold on to me, even though that I don't live anywhere near them, right? Like, does that make sense? Like, or
Mm-hmm. Yep.
they're telling me who I should date and who I shouldn't date. And it's just like, like I've gone to church a couple times, and this, like the boys I do this Bible study with, they ask me sometimes, it's like, do you ever have those conversations with my mom about church? No, because what am I going to talk to them about? They have no idea about me going to church. They have no idea why I go to church, right? You know what I mean, or why I read the Bible, right? And it's just like, and
Yeah.
it gets to a
You know.
point where
You
it's
know. You know why you read the Bible?
like,
Nick and I both know this, right? Nick, yeah, I know you can answer this one very clear as I can.
So you hear the truth in what the Bible says, right? It's
Bingo.
yeah.
all, it's all pointing back to Jesus, right? And people who know, and everybody else, it seems like it's foolish, right?
And you're looking for that part of you that's dying to heal, that's
Yeah,
wanting to heal, and you came to Jesus because Jesus spoke to you
because he's
Mm-hmm.
and said, "This is your way."
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, there it is. What a beautiful energy. right?
You
I,
know, it's funny. It's funny how you guys do it. Like I don't know what goes on, and especially you, Ollie. Especially you. Especially you. Like in the funny way is like I said this a couple times when you and I got off the phone. I was like,
Yeah.
this asshole is triggering something in me that I have no fucking clue. And I think what was that? I think that one day that you and I had that conversation on the phone, and I don't know
Yeah.
if Nick can kind of relate to this. And I had this conversation with Wally, and I think we chatted for like I don't know, like 40 minutes, and it's like
40 minutes an hour, yeah.
it. You know, dude, like we kept on talking about certain
Yeah.
things, and like
Yeah.
emotionally, it's like you get this little thing in here, and it
Yeah, and
starts
you
coming
got off the
here.
phone so quick. You
Oh,
gotta go.
oh,
Gotta go.
dude.
Gotta go. I don't like.
Okay,
Oh,
so
he's triggered, and I said, oh, he's
it was
triggered.
it was it was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing because because you have this, you have stuff like I don't know. It's like how they say
On the
like you get
surface, yeah,
your arteries are all clogged sometimes, and you have all this shit that's all around your heart, and that's just sort of
yeah.
situating here, and it's like you almost gonna feel like you're gonna throw up in it, and like and I
Yeah.
and I was sitting on the. It was like the other night, and I had a conversation with Wally, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, I was
Yep.
about to throw up, and I'm
awesome.
like, what is going on here? Because like, here's the thing, I got some vodka in the house. I haven't touched alcohol in like 6 months.
Wow,
I
good for
haven't
you.
touched alcohol in 6 months. Like I haven't touched a beer. I don't touch any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like I was thinking to myself, I was looking at it. I'm like, do I want to drink it? Like, do I want to drink it? And you want to hear the funniest thing? I actually grabbed it and then dumped it out,
No
like
way.
literally dumped out the alcohol because I was like, because when I got suppressed, I usually drink some alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't touched it. I was like, okay, but then I got to a point after the conversation with Wally, I went for a walk. I went for like a 45-minute walk.
Wow, awesome.
45-minute walk, and I still have like I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of a thing called like plantar fasciitis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
So I basically put on some shoes, went for a walk. I didn't even give a shit about like the soreness in my foot. I just went for a walk, and I'm like, and I was like thinking to myself, I was like, what is Wally doing to my head? Like, and that was the funniest thing because I got off and I was like, I was like, okay, I've been living in so much denial for so long, and then it was like started thinking back and forth, and then the conversations I've actually had with Wally, and then the conversations I've actually had with Nate, and then like it kind of got me thinking like that day when I actually watched one of Nate's videos where
Yeah.
he was basically
Vomiting.
no
Hurling.
it's, well no
Oh,
dude, like the video I actually saw him like basically yelling and cursing and like which I've never seen Nate. Like I've never seen that dude. Like I've never seen that guy ever get upset. And he was like
Yeah.
he was just this calm dude that I've always thought he was. It's like this dude's like unbreakable, right? Like this guy's unbreakable. And this is kind of goes between me and you know, because I know this is kind of goes through YouTube and stuff like that, right? But
Yeah.
the shit that I seen in that dude and like the emotions that guy gave, I was like, okay, I gotta get like I have a lot of shit I have to get off, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just that fact, like that
Yeah.
dude, and I'm like, okay, I gotta change my ways in my life because
Yeah.
if I go to my deathbed holding on to shit like this in my life
Yeah.
and not ever healing,
Yeah.
I'm
So
done.
when
Right?
you got off the phone so abruptly the other day and felt like you were gonna vomit, what was the feeling that was present for you there? What was I doing to your head that you felt I was doing to you, or what was it that actually opened a doorway within yourself that you're actually doing to yourself that you were actually starting to realize your truth and the response, and you could feel that, Nick. You feel that in the belly. I could feel that right here, right now.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, the denial, like I
Yeah.
told you in that text, right? In that
Yeah.
text, like I've lived my life so much in denial. Like as we think that as men, we suppress these feelings. We don't have that emotional release where we can
Yeah.
basically talk to someone about it, right?
Oh.
I mean, if we are men and we can't talk about our innermost feelings and get the stuff off us, like, what are we doing as men, right? Like, it's
Bingo.
like, how are you going to be able to be men and live life fully if we can't let go of our past and move on to the next, right? Like, you know what I mean? And it's such a rewarding thing to feel like, okay, as men, we have an avenue that we can go to, you know?
Yeah, facts. Exactly. And that's why we're creating this. This is exactly why Renewing the Man exists.
But it's like, as men, like,
Beautiful,
I
Ron.
gotta. Do you see it?
oh, the church.
Yeah, the cross is being lit up by the sun.
Oh,
Nice.
really? That's
Yeah, we
pretty
can't really
crazy.
see it. It's too far away.
Oh, is it too far away? Darn it! Here, I'll take a photo.
Hey, Nick, you know what Wally can do? He can run over there, t- go do it, take a photo, and then come back, right? And I have to, okay, and I have to ask Wally. I have to ask you this. I don't know if I can see you right now. You there?
Yeah, he's there. He's just going to take a photo of the.
I'm
Okay.
here.
But okay, so one thing I have to ask, dude, the hoodie that you're wearing, I've never seen those strings so damn long. Like, they're down to your belly. Like, what is that?
It's you'll see it.
What's her review on? Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Off white, baby.
Off white, baby.
I
So what are you
See,
gonna try to do? Are you guys trying to do a modeling career there, Wally?
know. I have a modeling agency.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, it's called Immortal Model Management.
So,
Immortal-models.com.
oh, and is Nick the manager?
No, my ex-wife and I are the managers of a few beautiful young ladies that model in Paris and London. And
Oh, fantastic.
I used to be a professional fashion photographer.
Really?
Yeah, I lived in Paris, Milan, London, New York, L.A.
That's amazing. What was your favorite place that you liked?
Paris. I loved Paris.
Yeah, I have some.
and,
I got some family outside of Paris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're very je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, my French is terrible.
Excusez-moi, désolé. Bon journée. Enculé. Voulez-vous?
But very, yeah, exactly.
Voulez-vous cliché avec moi ce soir?
um, so that feeling that was coming up for you of like being to vomit, we had a call early on with Nathan where I got him to vomit in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You did?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Dude,
Nick's the vomit. Nick is the vomit master. I mean, Nathan is vomited. I think he's so primed to purge on every call.
Yeah.
But it was like Nick got him to vomit in like I think it was much less than 5. I think it was like
It's
1 minute.
within 5 minutes he was already there
Yeah,
and
he was already
purging.
there. He was already purging.
So, yeah,
like,
Yeah, so that
that dude
happens.
is
That will
that dude's a
happen.
good dude.
Yeah,
he's
he's
a,
amazing. He's amazing.
But sorry, you're saying you got Nate to vomit?
I got Nate to vomit, so and that's recorded on the call. Like, so we have calls.
Seriously?
You can go back and
Hmm.
watch it on like first or second week. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've met, like, I got, like, I'm very, and this is one thing which I'm very proud of, right? Like, I'm very proud of this, right? Like, I got to meet Nate's family, and like, I mean, that's something that is really emotionally, like, I'm very respected. I'm very appreciative of Nate as a friend, and like Monique, right? Those two are just
Yeah.
amazing people. Um, but like, I'm very grateful for the opportunity I got to meet the family, because that's something that's huge, right? Like, that's a huge thing. Um, but like, I love that dude. He's a great dude, and like, he's inspirational to be around, because
Hmm.
like, like you see a guy that's kind of went through stuff, but like emotionally and physically, like I don't see a lot of fault. Like I mean, when you see him, you don't really see a lot of faults with him. But then when I got to see the video, I was like, okay, there is some stuff that as men that it's hard for us to admit that we have, and that's one thing that I think that emotionally, I think Wally can attest to, is that a lot of times pride gets in the way, and
Mhm.
pride gets to a point where you don't like admitting yourself like you have faults, or you want to admit that you have faults, because like I've always kind of grew up where it's like you almost suppress your things and move on and don't really bring up stuff that has happened in the past, right?
Mhm.
Totally.
And it's different now to feel like how so many people die at a young age because that they have so much stress and anxiety that they just hold on to and they don't let it go, right?
Mhm.
And this is kind of where I was talking with, like, I think I talked to you, Nate, about the or Nick about this, and Wally is my buddy Jared. Like, I mean, he's emotionally is going through a pretty bad um, separation with
Divorce.
his wife, right? But like the more and more chats that we've had with him is he still holds on to the emotion of the relationship, right? And he holds on to it thinking that if a woman's done this in the past that she's going to be able to fix what she's done and she's not going to do it again. And I'm like, "Y- you can't do that. You can't be in a position where you think that if you stay in the relationship you're committing a sin, right? And like, and maybe you guys can test to this, right? Like, do you think God's going to spite you because you hold on to a relationship that a woman hits you and keeps on repeatedly hitting you and think that that's still fine?
No, the Lord's not going to judge you at all for that.
Exactly.
No.
Right? I mean, the God wants you to be free and wants you to be free from this, and God doesn't want you to be in spite, right? And this is hard thing as me as a man to realize is like I still have a lot of stuff I have to work on. And like as
Mhm.
Wally has said, is that how am I emotionally and physically going to be able to move on in myself if emotionally I can't get off my past, right?
Right.
And God's not going to have fault me for my mistakes.
Yeah, totally. He wants to heal, right? He doesn't want you to be in pain and under
No,
delusion and being oppressed by all the lies that we believed about ourselves. He wants us to be free. He wants us to be who he created us to be. And until we're able to let go of things, we can't step into that reality of who he created us to be as his children, right? So created in his image and likeness. So we need to heal, and
yeah,
he's the healer. So um, we can go through and do this emotional work, and he can work alongside of us to help reveal things to us, that areas that we are blind to, um, situations in the past that we've not let go of. And he's a good father, and he loves us, and he wants what's best for us. So
yeah.
um,
And
most people see God as how their earthly father is, right? If their earthly father was angry, then God's angry. But that's not the case. He's a loving father.
well, and I think that also too is I think I don't know, and I think you can attest to this too. Is like, do you know, like emotionally and physically, when you commit sin, right, or you're a repeat sinner, right, and then you repent of your sins, but you keep on doing your sins. People think like, oh yeah, God's not gonna love you for your sins. Well, and I always say to people is like, but God died. God went onto the cross for our sins. He knows that we're gonna sin all the time, and He knows that He even sin it before we do it, right? So it's like, and that's a hard reality to come to realize. Is like I'm still a sinner. I'm always going to be a sinner. I mean, it's just like even if I do one thing, I'm still being a sinner, right?
Well, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is you are a perfected work in process. And so you're no longer a sinner because Jesus took all that sin. The actions that you have are still uh, of that old nature, but you've become a new creation, right? You're a new creation in
But it's
Christ. So it's
but it's here.
inherent, right? It's you
Here,
don't believe that you're that good, and you
it's
have
because it's
embraced
this. It's counteracting this,
exactly. Yeah,
right? And then it's like where you're supposed to think of this first. It's this is basically controlling your thoughts so
exactly.
much more, right? Because and I think a lot of times is like your head's basically saying something before your heart says something,
That's right.
right? And that's such a hard reality to face because we're so much thinking about this than this, or this gets in front of before this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
While were you sweeping?
Huh?
Were you sweeping?
Sweeping? No, I was just fixing a bush there because it was falling. Freaking bushes.
But
Yeah.
it's true. Like it's a lot of times is our heads thinking before our heart, and before our heart thinks about our head, right? And I don't know. Like I think
Yeah.
that
Well, that's what that's what we call this the processor, and this is the real mind.
Mhm.
The heart is much smarter than the mind. Mind is nothing more about a processor, right? And it has, you have what was it? The five things: mammalian, uh, reptilian, the insecure inner child, the overprotective guardian, and the cerebral cortex, right? And those are like five parts of the brain that almost in a way kind of think on their own but have to think together, right? And that's why we're thinking so many thoughts a day. And but our real truth lies within our heart, and when we can connect to our heart, to our body, get out of our minds, and we can get to clarity, right? Because the mind is, like I said, it's nothing more than the processor. It's like the cerebral cortex is like the motherboard, but the SSD card and the real program is operation system is running out of the body. The body remembers its traumas, its pains, its hurts, its wounds. So it's in the body that we have to hold this wounding, this trauma, and process it out. Right? There's a saying
yeah.
that you can't think your way out of something you felt your way into. You can only feel your way out. Oh, I forgive my father. Well, you forgave your father mentally, logically, non emotionally. Then you didn't have it. You haven't fully forgiven your father.
And if you
So what?
haven't, you don't have the capacity to bless your father, then you haven't fully forgiven.
Well, yeah, and I think that especially too is as like I think for me is that I think emotionally now I'm kind of understanding how the best way of like talking to people sometimes right now because I think emotionally like before was like a person would have a conversation and then halfway in between I'd butt in and try to say what I have to say, right?
Right.
But now like emotionally now where I'm starting to understand is like okay, take everything in what they say first, understand what they say, and then process it and push it out, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then as I think you as you mentioned about fathers is like I think I've accepted and this is I know this is a bad thing to look at, but I've accepted the situation for where it is with my family by not having a conversation to my father because of the conversations that we have as together, right? Like because we
Right.
just if we're not communicating with each other, we're not communicating with each other at all, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's a sad thing to do because I think the older I've got, like I wish I had a better relationship with him, right? But
Yeah.
I think that the more I get, the more I realize I realize it's like it is what it is. Maybe that's the same relationship that he had with his father, right?
Yeah, quite possibly, but it's up to you to forgive him and deal with the dark father that he was and create the light father within you that you've always wanted. So you can create that sense of peace and love within yourself that you always wanted, but you have to give it to yourself through the image of the light father within you.
Yeah. And I think emotionally too is I thought like when I was um I was about to have like with my ex, we were planning to have a kid, and then she had a pretty bad miscarriage and lost it, right? But I thought, well, like, okay, I'll be a dad. Maybe my relationship with my dad will be different because I have a son. But then it never happened. So then emotionally, over the older I got, I realized like, hey, if I have kids, that'd be great. But I would like to have a better relationship with my father if I have a kid, right? Because I know for a fact if I had a kid, I wouldn't want to have the same relationship I have with my dad with my son, right? Because I do want to have a better open communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Bingo.
sure.
Oh, that's awesome. No, but that's it, and that's exactly why we're here, right? Is
Yeah.
to do the work to become the best version of ourselves, and to create a difference for ourselves and create a difference for our future selves and our future generations, right?
But
And so
like Wally
relationship.
Nick's right before we I know you guys probably gotta go.
Yeah,
Like emotionally and physically, dude, like I haven't realized was like how emotionally and physically I need to work on a lot of myself, and I'm still like I'm nowhere near
yeah, yeah. Well,
that.
we're gonna jump on it this coming week, brother. Believe me. Don't worry
But no,
about
but
that.
it's
Yeah,
like the emotional state. I never realized how far I need to go. Right?
yeah, yeah. Well,
But we'll
we're
circle
we're
down.
good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay,
We're
It's
in the
boys.
all
right.
good.
Okay, boys.
Exactly where you need to be.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
know. I
brother.
appreciate it. Okay, boys.
All
Have a good
right.
weekend.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let's get a celebration. Let's get a celebration. Come on. Woo!
Woohoo! Okay,
There you
boys.
go, baby. All right, brother. Have a good one. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Let's
You guys.
go. Woo!
Woo!